Good morning, class. This is Bernard speaking once again, and tonight I'm going to be giving you a little fun fact of what I know about the Great Depression. See, there was a time when America was at its lowest points in history, and this was the Great Depression. It was something so tragic that people still talk about it today, like as in kids in high school class learn about history. I believe it was something worth studying a little extra about. There are three main points that I was willing to inform you on: the time leading up to the Great Depression and what caused it, like life during it and how it affected America. In these years leading up to the Great Depression, life was exciting and people were thriving. As you can tell, I really love the Great Depression. History, my fault. But anyways, women received the right to vote. Cars was new invention, and first radio broadcast happened on November 2nd, 1920. However, on October 29th, 1929, after almost a whole decade of excitement, the stock market crashed. The stock market. Texas Gateway's article, The Cause of the Great Depression, says that this led to shares on the market becoming worthless, and investors who had bought shares were now broke. A mass panic started. Companies and business shut down. Workers were being fired left and right, and people began running from their banks, hoping to take out the savings, only to find out that their banks were closing. Khan Academy states more than a third of nation's banks failed at the 3 years following in 1929. As depression began to set in, one thing would lead to another. Life was changing quick, and it was hurting the people of America. According to Khan Academy, by 1930, I think about maybe 4.3 million people were unemployed, and by 1933, the numbers had risen to almost maybe 13 million. The unemployment rate was at an all-time high of 25%. 1/4 of Americans had no source of income, and most were locked, out of their savings due to the closing of banks. However, it was not just the adults who were suffering. By 1930, around 2.25 million boys and girls ages 10 through 18 almost worked in factories, mines, and on farms. Children left school to help support their families. The stress and fear of not making it or not knowing what the next thing began to affect people mentally. The nation's suicide rate rose an all-time high of 1933. Life was more than just hard for Americans during this time. But during the 10-year time frame that depression lasted, our country was crippled and affected in many ways. It lasted so long that many began to think that this was the end for American dreams. The country was affected economically, politically, and socially. World trade would eventually plummet 65%. I can say that again. World trade will eventually plummet 65%, according to the balance.com, and also affected those countries deeply adapted to the United States. These were countries such as Germany, the Great Britain, and Canada. Even all America slowly began to get back on its feet. The stock market did not recover until 25 years later, maybe. However, there was still hope for America. There was still hope for America, and they did eventually make it out on the road of recovery. The Great Depression was challenging. Time for the people of America. It was something that was not expected. But throughout this speech, I have discussed that the time leading upon it and what caused it, life during it, and how it affected America itself. How would the people of America handle something like this today? If it were to happen again? And I simply say, in a generation, quote, gotta have this, gotta have that. Would we make it like they did almost 100 years ago? It is something to think about, don't you think? But not to hope on. Hopefully America would never see something like this again. Thank you.